Hello, everyone. This is Deborah Richardson, and today I am putting the AP in Happy where accounts payable teams are empowered to protect the vendor master file from fraud. This podcast will give a voice to accounts payable team members by talking about the growing reality of cyber attacks in their world and which vendor setup and vendor management techniques they can apply to protect the vendor master file from fraud. If you are looking for vendor process training for you or your entire vendor team, head over to my site at deborahrrichardson.com and click on the Vendor Team Training Solved button to learn more about what is included in the monthly or annual plan and also to download a 2021 training schedule. Get the training that you and your team needs to avoid payment fraud, duplicate vendors, compliance fines, and more. Since this is another short holiday week for everyone this time across the world to go into the new year, I thought I'd give you something that you can listen to quickly. A quick vendor master file tip on using a company branded ACH form. And if you're not using it, this is a great time to start your year off right. So keep listening. Welcome to episode 116. Quick episode on a company branded ACH form. Now there is a video version of this on my YouTube channel that contains playlists including the vendor master file tip of the week, on-demand webinars which you don't have to register to view, and that has timestamps so you can jump around and listen to exactly what you need. You can also find all podcast episodes, so if you're already on YouTube, you can listen to the podcast there as well. I will put a link to my channel in the show notes, and please subscribe and share with your colleagues. And now, here is your vendor master file tip on a company branded ACH form. Hi, my name is Deborah R. Richardson of Deborah R. Richardson LLC, and I work with you to help you clean your vendor data, clean your vendor processes so that you can pay the right vendor. And this week's vendor master file tip of the week is company branded ACH form. Now, there are two reasons that I recommend this form. One is to make sure that you are dealing with your correct vendor record. So on the form, you can ask what you need to ask based on your accounting system or ERP. For example, if you have a system like PeopleSoft or Oracle, you can require the remittance address on the ACH form so that you can make sure that you're dealing with the right site ID or the right location. The second reason is the biggest, and it is to prevent fraud. So on the company branded ACH form, you can ask authenticating questions such as, if this is a change in vendor banking, you can ask for the existing banking. And yes, your vendor will know their existing banking. If they do not know or say they cannot fill that out, use this as a red flag, and if you think that that is the correct vendor, make sure that you are dealing with the correct person at your vendor's office or company. Many times you can reach out to the AR person, or the person you're dealing with at the vendor can reach out to the AR team to verify the existing banking before you change that banking to the updated information. You can also ask for additional authentication questions or criteria, such as the tax ID and also the remittance email address that is on file. So for those two reasons, I do recommend that you have a company branded ACH form. And here's one other tip for that form: to make sure that you don't have internal employees storing it on their hard drives, continuing to give out the same company branded ACH form for years and years, and we know that happens with forms. Update that form once a year so that you can make sure, one, that you're keeping up to date with the information that you need, and two, that you're only giving that form to vendors that you have already authenticated. And so if you receive an old version of the form, you can treat that as an initial red flag for fraud, and then once you authenticate that vendor, you can send them the correct vendor company branded ACH form. So good luck, and I'll see you next week with next week's Vendor Master File Tip of the Week.
So thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed the 116th episode of the Putting the AP in Happy podcast, where accounts payable teams are empowered to protect the vendor master file from fraud. Don't forget to check the show notes for the links mentioned in the podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing and writing a review of my podcast on the platform that you use to listen. Stay happy.